You and I talked a little bit about the voice as an exposed instrument,
Yes.
as an instrument that leaves no secrets, right?
Yes. Yes. You cannot hide when you sing opera. Yeah.
Yeah, so people think, I think sometimes there's this misconception, right, that opera is this like very elevated, inaccessible art form. But what I hear you saying is that for you, what drew you to opera is the accessibility of it, is the fact that it gets to the deeper core of what it means to be human.
Yes. Opera is inaccessible. I don't think it is. I think that oftentimes people are drawn to what they're familiar with. And so if they hear something they're unfamiliar with, they oftentimes don't give it a chance. And so they hear it once or twice and they're like, oh, I don't like that. Well, how many times have you heard one singer sing one country song or one pop song and been like, oh, I don't like that, but you didn't give up the entire genre? There are so many genres of opera, so many different singers, so many different interpretations. It's important to familiarize yourself with it before you just write it off entirely, right?
Yeah, and it sounds like it does take kind of a dispelling of the misconception that it is this thing that exists separate and apart from the human experience that we all have to kind of chase.
Absolutely.
But that it's more something that we have to kind of dig deep down and find inside of ourselves.
Yes. And it's also fascinating because in listening to opera, sometimes people have this misconception that, oh, they're just screaming, they're just singing loud. Well, opera, when done properly, is actually the complete opposite. It is an alignment of one of the truest sounds the human body can make. It is fully supported, it is free, a full resonant vibration through your being. And there's no screaming in terms of tension involved when it's done properly because you utilize all of your resonant cavities in your skull that make you sound loud. Yeah. But it's not that loud, it's just resonant. There's a big difference.
It's an important distinction. It's not loud, but I think that's an important distinction too for like self and vulnerability.
Yes.
Is this idea of resonance.
Yes.
And not necessarily as just sheer raw power, right?
Absolutely.
That we're kind of shoving through.
Yes.
But this concept of opening things up.
Yeah.
Like opening ourselves up to emotion, opening all of our placement up.
Yes.
And, you know, most people don't necessarily know this, but I know that it's something you know because this is what you do for a living, that singing actually comes more naturally to us as humans than speaking.
It does. Yes, it absolutely does.
And is actually a healthier way for all of those mechanisms to interact.
Yes. Yeah.
So you not only sing, but you teach.
I do teach some, yes.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about sort of the juggling of those things and how teaching allows you to communicate that philosophy?
Obviously the pandemic changed a lot for everybody. In one sense, a benefit that came for me from everything going virtual is that now when I travel to perform, I'm able to take my studio with me online. And so I don't have to, take 4 weeks off or something from my teaching. And so it's obviously not the same as an in-person interaction, but it works.
Yeah.
And I love teaching. I really love it. I feel like, not everybody has a calling for teaching or is good at communicating things verbally in a way that makes teaching easy. And I just think I have a gift for it. And so I appreciate every one of my students. And I have students that sing professionally and some people that are doing it for a hobby. And so this idea of vulnerability, but from a place of empowerment is something that I really focus on in my studio. And where can we break down the blockages that are stopping the free resonance in the body, the free energetic vibrations, if you will. You can use all types of vocabulary there, but just to keep everything free and buoyant and open.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So if people are super interested in getting familiar with opera, if they've heard you perform on our show and they're thinking, wow, this is fantastic, I need to see more of this.
Yeah.
How can they follow you? Where's the best place for them to access what you do?
Sure, you can go to HaleySicking.com or Haley_Sicking is my Instagram.
So HaleySicking.com or Haley_Sicking on Instagram, and that's SICKING.
Yes.
Haley, I am so excited that you're here to share opera with all of us today, and I can't wait for our audience to hear more of it.
Oh,
right?
Thank you.